Salute, 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 salute. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Salute, 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 salute. Getting a late start here tonight. We're gonna do a reaction on my interview with Lisa B that took place over there on Flip's channel. Salute everybody. For those of you that haven't subbed up to Flip, make sure you go over there and sub up. Salute. What I'm gonna do is, because we're getting such a late start tonight, I'm gonna do half tonight and half tomorrow, because I think it was like a 2.5 hour interview. Yeah, something like that. Two and a half, little close to 3 hours. So I'm gonna do half. Try to do a reaction of half or a little under half, and then the rest tomorrow. And then, of course, Thursday is gonna be the opening statements and the opening of the Wolf trial. So salute everybody. Salute. Let me salute the chat here real quick. Salute everybody. Hope everybody had a blessed and happy Tuesday, a blessed and productive Tuesday today. Salute to you, you knew my beautiful Wolfpack sister. Salute to you, salute. Kenyon 30, salute to you. Pimping ain't easy, salute to you, salute. Brooklyn Hood, salute to you, salute. Sikkim, what's going on, bro? Salute, salute, salute. Heartbreak 22, what's going on, bro? Salute to you, salute. D True, my Wolfpack bro, salute to you, salute. Miss Chicago, blessings to you, salute to you, salute. Alpha from the OHIO, salute to you, salute, 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 salute. Everybody, salute that's in the house, salute. Big Marshall, what's going on? Salute, salute, salute. And to all the ghost watchers that are watching in the bushes, salute to you as well. Make sure you hit that like button. For those of you that are going to be coming in a little later on, hit the like button. Now, got a request here, okay? Any trolls, where anybody that come in here under their real account, they want to troll, let them rock out. Let them rock out. As long as they're not bothering the mods in the chat, let them rock out. Open door policy tonight. Salute to you, real Neptunes fans. Salute to you, salute. So let them rock out. As long as they're not bashing or bothering anybody, any of the mods, any of my mods, I'm good. So for those of you that missed, so for those of you that missed now if they come over here in a fake account, you get them up out of here, Alpha. But if they come over here in their real shit, then it's all good. So for those of you that missed the interview, I'm gonna do a reaction, and then I'm gonna react to some of the questions that were being asked of me, and then I'm gonna explain why I gave the answer that I gave. It was a real good interview. I enjoy myself over there at Phillips. So I want to thank all of you that came over and showed me some support over there during the interview. It's a little late tonight. It's gonna get my words kind of crossed up. I'm not used to going live this late, but we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. So everyone, without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get it. We're gonna go ahead and get it crunk. All right. So before I get started, I want to say fair use, fair use, fair use. This is for the sole purpose of commentary from my audience, fair use. That's just out of respect, even though I've been granted permission by Flip to do a reaction on this. I appreciate you, Flip, for allowing me to do a reaction on this. And once again, thank you, Lisa B, for giving me the opportunity to give my side of the story in this interview. Salute, 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 salute. All righty, let's get it started. And I wasn't prepared to show anything video wise. Hold on.
Ooh, I want to see how this goes.
Hold on. I'll push back. You know.
That's understandable. I did get a chance to listen to what you had to say about how this big long forever beef with you and TY Ray TV started.
Mm-hmm.
You say in your opinion you don't feel like you went personal first. When did it explode to where it is now? How did we get to the point where we are posting these kind of things and exposing each other to this degree? What happened?
Well, it actually really got personal when my home got swatted. That's when it went for me. That's when it went to the next level. When my home got swatted.
You don't
And
feel like
two years ago, he during one of his lives, he admitted that he was behind it. And then he said, "Well, if come up here and do something about it. Come up here and do something about it. You PSSY. Come." And I got that video. I got a clip of that.
okay, is there any way that we could show that or that we
It's
would be able to see that?
if we were over on the dome, I could have easily showed it. And I'll be playing that during the trial, as well as when I did, and I'm quite sure a lot of people remember the live that I did. I think it was back in February. The live that I did back in February, where I asked them to hit the panel. I think it was March. March. I'm sorry. I asked Ty to hit the panel, and I was willing to, just come to an agreement. Hey, you stop talking about me, I'll stop talking about you. But he never hit the panel. He went live, and he was like, "No, it's a war. We gonna do this. We gonna okay." So we're at this point now. And after I exposed the eviction and all of it in his garnishments and everything, yeah, this, hate has something to do with it as well, but this also has a lot to do with other things like proving himself, trying to rebuild his reputation back up in the sector, and the fact that he needs money. The man is desperate for money. Salute to you, C Viper 23. Salute to you, bro. You are in our prayers, bro. So that's really what this is all about. It's about trying to prove himself, to, I guess, the people in the skinny gang, trying to prove himself to skinny, trying to rebuild his whatever clout that he had back in 2022. And he had a little clout back in 2022. I will admit he had a little clout, but the thing is, and this is for people that support him and rock with him, no matter how this thing turns out between me and him, his it'll never be the same. What happened in that juicy crab is what really, put a dent in his YouTube career. His YouTube career has not been the same since he got rolled up on in the juicy crab, which that's got to be the most embarrassing pull up. The most embarrassing pull up in YouTube history. So people can bring up that QT all they damn want to, but it ain't nowhere near compared to that damn juicy crab pull up, and the fact that he never took the bib off and never stood up. Let's continue. But I didn't, you know, I'm over here. I didn't, I wasn't prepared to show anything video wise.
I understand. Um, it wouldn't be right to say that you're taking it to a level that TY didn't take it to, because you all have gone pretty far as posting each other's families, which I'm not going to get into detail as far as that goes. I think most people's issue is a lot of people say that you don't tell the truth.
Hmm. And that right there is contradictory because um number one, it's only a small pocket of people that says that, and that's the people that rock with TY. The large majority of people in this sector, and I'm speaking in the sector as a whole, the large majority of the sector, and I don't give myself nicknames, but the large majority of the sector, when I go into other chats, they're acknowledging me as the receipt king. It ain't they ain't saying, "Oh well, Mondo is a liar." No, a receipt king, which means, and let me break it down. Receipt king, that means when I say something about someone, I back it up with receipts. I've been doing this for the last 3.5 years. Anything that I say about someone or I put out a story about someone, I have backed it up with receipts. And I'm consistent with that. That is why I have been labeled the receipt king in this sector. So, so that right there can be misleading, Lisa. Lisa B, that is misleading. The proper way would have been to say, hey, the people that rock with TY, the people that support TY feels that you are a liar. That right there would have been a proper term. And the thing is, anything I've said about that man, I presented receipts, and which is really the other way around. This man has lied on me, and he's lied on my family. Okay, remember him and Antonio Barnes put out lies a couple of months ago saying that my wife, which is a doctor, saying that she was a powderhead. Then he also uh, put out a lie saying that I assaulted a woman in Alabama. He has yet to show the paperwork on that. And it is still, and he ain't mentioning that. But I'm going to hold his feet to the fire on that during during the entire trial. Okay, and uh, and remember when he first broke the story about the travel lodge, the narrative that he was trying to push was that I beat the girl up, that I was the one that was putting hands and feet on Melee. When we all found out, come to find out, that I actually helped her. I got a room in my name for her, which basically put a roof over her head for that day. And when she got locked up, when the incident went down and she got locked up, I got up out of my bed, drove down to Clayton County Police Station, walked in there. I didn't go to a bonding agency. I went directly into the Clayton County Police Department and bonded her out with cash. So that's the story, and that could be bagged up. So this notion that I've been lying on this man or whatever, that's a narrative that's being pushed by the people that support TY. So that statement would be misleading. But I digress. Let's continue.
And that you're not truthful, and that maybe some of the evidence that you show is extremely cherry picked. What would you have to say to people that think that?
Evidence is evidence. And when people say evidence is cherry picked, maybe it's a situation where I'm showing evidence that may went a different way than you want it to go. That, see, people tend to say, well, you cherry pick evidence. People tend to say that when you present the receipts, and the receipts are not matching up for the person that you're rocking with, or the person that you're kind of leaning towards, or maybe in a tank for. You see what I'm saying? But hey, my receipts are valid. And the thing about me is, when I put up documents, they're going to be court documents. They're going to be police reports. They're going to be incident reports. Or I will take you to the website, to the state's website. Pull the information up in real time so everyone can see what I'm actually putting on the screen. I also put the stuff up on the screen, everything, the full documents up where people can see it. This guy, he he flashes the darn paperwork up on the screen, takes it down, put it up, takes it down, put it up. He don't show the entire case number. He cherry picks certain things that he wants to show so he can push his narrative, like he did with the travel lodge incident, where in the beginning he was trying to convince people that I beat that young lady up. He was trying to convince people that I was the one that committed the assault and battery on that woman, which was a lie. So let's continue. Um, I'm being singled out on that because, like I was telling Flip before you got up here, Um, Ty got on the panel on Skinny's panel on May the 30th, and I also have a video clip of that. Okay, he accused me of jumping on a white woman. Then he also accused me when he first brought up the travel lodge thing. He was basically saying that I was the one that committed the battery, the assault on that young lady. Come to find out, I got the room for her and I bonded her out. Then it went from that to, okay, well, you call the police on the boyfriend. You was in the room with her screwing or whatever, doing whatever you were doing. And when you change narratives, when you switch up like that because you tried to push one lie and then that lie got exposed, which basically that showed everybody that he's a fake doxer, and he don't know how to dox. He really doesn't. I'm gonna say this, okay. I'm gonna say this. The travel lodge story was new. It was new. The incident report, the travel lodge, the whole travel lodge story was new. He actually finally got some new on me. So I agree with Lisa B on that. That was some new. The problem is he fucked it up. He didn't know how to use it. When you got when you get some new and you get a file, the worst thing you can do is try to pad some bullshit on top of it. Tell the story as is. All he had to do was day one, put the damn incident report up. And then go with the story. Oh, you was at a hotel with another woman and you called the police on her boyfriend. That would have been the route to go. Where he fucked up at is he got overzealous. He saw the battery charge and everything. And what he tried to do was he tried to manipulate people into believing that I was the one that committed the assault and battery by cherry picking parts of the document to put up on his commemorative wall. And he was only forced to present the entire paperwork once I made the call down there to Clayton County, which cleared me from being you know, being the one that committed the assault and battery, in which I knew the part that I played in it. I knew the part that I played in. The part that I didn't know was why my name was all on the damn incident report. That was what I do, the part that I didn't know about. So let's continue. And the boyfriend pulled up and you call the police. So it's like it's goalposts moving. It's goalposts moving. And no one calls him out on it. Like a couple of months ago, no one called him out. Did anyone because I really didn't get a chance to watch the trial because I was doing family time Saturday night. But I don't remember anyone, my people that was watching it. A couple of them told me that wasn't even brought up. He wasn't even questioned on why he led off with a lie about me beating up on a woman when it came to the travel lodge. Because it was because of the travel lodge, really, is what brought on the Woach trial. It was the travel lodge, the new that he finally got a hold of. It was really what triggered me to be put on trial at the Woach trial. But it was bullshit. And if we was really having real court, that case would have been thrown out because there's evidence tampering. Because you led off with a lie. You led off with I beat the woman. That I was the one that committed the battery. That I was the one that beat her up and put hands on her. You sat up there and told Mr. Skinny that. And he asked you 3 times, are you sure? So are you telling me that Armando put hands and feet on that woman and you said yes? That's a lie. That's a lie. Now I don't want to hear nothing about, oh well, I just wanted to trick you into talking about the story. They were just quick saying, that's the thing that I'm saying. There's a set of rules for TY and a set of rules for me. When he lied, which he blatantly lied, oh, it's a strategy. It's a strategy. But when I throw some bait out there, I'm a liar. That's the point I'm trying to make. Let's continue. Him and this Antonio Barnes guy had came up with some ridiculous story saying that my wife Lisa was doing cocaine and was a part of some burglary or whatever. But no one called him out. It seems like I get called out for every little thing. But no one questioned him about, okay, so if you're going to go with the calling the police story, why didn't you lead off with that? Why are you trying to pin a battery charge on Armando? Why didn't you just say, hey, he was in a hotel with another woman. He got a room for another woman. He bonded her out. But what was going on? Why was he in a hotel with another woman? And he called the police. That's the thing. So the way I look at it, honestly, I shouldn't have been the one that should have been put on trial. TY's ass should have been put on trial first. For the simple fact, he got caught in a lie. He got caught in a lie. He literally got caught in a lie. Remember what I said. There are 3 things that no man wants to be known as: an unaliver, a murderer, a man that puts his hands on children, okay, and a woman beater. Those are the 3. Those 3 right there. Those 3 right there are the deal breakers. And when you put an accusation of one of those 3 on any man, you better have some damn solid evidence, because that's some serious accusations. This dude was allowed to call me or to put a battery charge on me, and no one questioned him. No one held him accountable for it. When I made that call and he was exposed for lying, no one held his feet to the fire. No one held him accountable. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. So, let's continue. On her boyfriend. Why start off? Well, he put hands and feet on that woman.
That is a good point. It did end up coming out that there was no battery involved. So I would also like to make that very clear. There was no battery involved with you at the Travel Lodge.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you don't mind getting into, the Travel Lodge situation?
I'm just following your lead. Whatever question you have. And the thing is, but yes, and I said that because his story was suspect. I said that. Salute to you together. I said that. But once again, my point is, no one held him accountable. No one held this man accountable. He literally got up on a panel where at the time it was over 200 people in the chat. He got up on Skinny's panel and put a lie out there about me, and no one held him accountable. No one. It was like, okay, well, let's just shift to what you were doing at the hotel and who called the police. It was a paradigm shift from, oh, Armando beat up a woman in the travel lodge to, oh, Armando called the police on her boyfriend. Which, in what world do we live in? You know, in what world do we live in? If you see a woman out in public and she's in trouble and a man is putting his hands on her and you're not able to intervene and you're not able to get to her, and but you can see what's going on, you pick up your cell phone and you call the authorities, and for doing that you're deemed a rat. In what world is that? Is that right? Is that the world we live in now? Because the way I was brought up, if someone is being attacked, whether it's a woman, a woman, man, or child, if someone is an elderly person being attacked by someone, and you're not able to get to them, and you're witnessing what's happening, you pick up the phone and call the police. So I don't know why it was made a big deal out of, even if I did call the police, why would it be a big fucking deal? Even though I revealed who actually was down there last night, it don't matter who was, if it was me, my cousin, or whoever else, or the person in the room next door. The right thing was done. The right thing was done. Let's continue. It's like this. It's like this. If it was your daughter, if it was your daughter or your mother, wouldn't you want someone to have done the same thing? They have picked up the phone and called the authorities, or just walk away and let the guy continue to beat on her and not call the authorities. Boy, I tell you, man. Let's continue. Have for me.
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I do want to make sure that you're comfortable. I don't want to reach into anything that's not okay with you. So please, if I get to any topic that you feel like I'm overstepping at any point, please let me know.
I will.
And I'll figure out a way around it for sure.
I will.
So as far as the travel lodge, one of the things that you were saying is that the paperwork, the incident report, that it was fabricated, that there's some type of way he altered it.
In my opinion, this is why I said the paperwork was fabricated. Number one, he already had lied. He had already lied. See, that's the thing that people want to run away from, and people don't want. They don't. If you're going to address the travel lodge, and you're going to address the paperwork, and why I made that statement, you have to address the elephant in the room. That he led off with a lie, telling everybody that I beat the girl up, that I was the one that beat the girl up. See, you got to tell the whole story. You can't cherry pick around that he led off with a lie. You can't run away from that. No matter how hard you try, and no matter how hard you're rocking with the man, you cannot run away from the fact that he led off with a lie. And most of the people that rock with him, there were a few idiots that actually believed him, but most of the people that rock with him knew damn well he was lying. They were actually hoping that there was no way that I could get the truth out there, and that lie could stick on me. Because can you imagine if I wouldn't have been able to get that case number, if he wouldn't have slipped up and dropped that case number, and I wouldn't have been able to prove that I wasn't the one that hit the woman, that I actually was the one that helped her out. If I wasn't able to prove that, they would have been raking me through the coals right now. Oh, Mondo a woman beater. Oh, Mondo a woman beater. Oh, woman, Mondo a woman beater. That will be the narrative. That's what would be the talking point. But for whatever reason, I still can't believe it to this day. For whatever reason, he slipped up and dropped the case number. For whatever reason, I don't know. But boy, I tell you, without that case number, there's no way that I could have been able to make the call and get to the bottom of the story. There's no way that I could have. It looked fabricated because I did not call the police on anyone. I was not there at the time of the incident. I was not there. And again, if I was there, and if I did call the police, was that wrong? Was that wrong, or was that the right thing to do? If you see a woman in trouble or getting beat up on by a guy, and you're not able to get to her, because that's the situation that my cousin was in. He walked out of the hotel room. They closed the door, locked the door. The curtains was still open enough where he could see what was going on, and her, according to him, my cousin ain't gonna lie to me about that, but according to him, her boyfriend struck her a couple of times and slung her across the room. And then that's when he picked up the phone and called Clayton County. Let's continue. I was at home with my wife. I was at home with Lisa.
Do you, so you don't have any idea how your name would have gotten onto the incident report?
My name was on the room. I know who was there. And the
Mhm.
reason why I didn't want to go into details, because it was a relative of mine, a cousin, and I'm
Okay.
not gonna name drop, because that cousin is married, has 3 children,
Oh no,
and
absolutely.
I'm not, you got this guy's on a witch hunt, and if I drop the name, he'll do cross references, researching, and then try to wreck their marriage. So when you're dealing with individuals that are just desperate and on a witch hunt, certain things I won't say, but I know who was down there with her, but it wasn't me. Not only do I know, my wife also knows as well.
Okay.
She
Um,
knows. She knows, and it, that's why, when he was making all those threats, talking about, well, I'm gonna send this paperwork up to it. Send it. And the one thing I keep telling these clowns, I don't keep nothing from my wife. I don't keep nothing from her. All of them damn clips, and I saw a content creator earlier was playing like a couple of clips, old clips of me, back in the days before I got with Lisa. And he got it confused. He think that was actually from 2012, and it wasn't. Playing different clips and everything. He was made some kind of comment with like, yeah, we got these downloaded. We're gonna get these out. Get them, bro. Because one thing about it, man, my woman know everything about me. As a matter of fact, she done saw all of those videos, bro. She done saw all of them. So I mean, man, look, I don't keep nothing from her. She knows everything that happened at that damn travel lodge. She knows everything that happened at that damn travel lodge. And that can be proven. Let's continue. Send it. So she can laugh, because I was laying right next to her when the call came that she
that
was locked up.
okay.
Hmm.
And so, because I believe that the paperwork that he showed, because I know I'm privy to it, as far as having a copy, and that was because of the proceedings. Um, it I understand what you're saying, but in the incident report, it doesn't say anything about whose name the room was under necessarily. But What it does say is that you were the complainant and that you were the one making the report.
That's misleading. It actually has a box. It has my name, and it has my name besides complainant. Okay. And I explained that my cousin was the one that was down there. And when he was on the phone, he gave them my name. He gave them my name, which I didn't have a problem with. I didn't have a problem with, but he gave them my name. When a cop is called, when something goes down at a hotel and the police is called, they're gonna go to the front desk first. They're going to go to the front desk first. They're not going to go directly to the room. Even if they do know room number, they're going to go to the front desk first. And how the cop was able to get my ID information because the room was in my name. You got to realize, okay, so if you rent a room for someone and you leave and something goes down and someone gets hurt in that hotel room, your name is attached to that room. So when the incident report is drawn up, your name is going to be attached to that incident report, regardless. Even if the police, okay, let's just say, even if someone else, let's just say if my cousin would have gave them the right name, my name would have been attached to that incident report some way, somehow, because the room was in my name. Bottom line. Let's continue.
That this was your statement.
I did not call the police on anyone. I wasn't there that day. I wasn't there that morning. I wasn't. Look at the address. Old Dixie Highway. If anyone knows anything about Atlanta, Roswell Road, the
Mhm.
address has, the paper has my address on there. That is like, and this is without traffic, maybe like 30 or 35 minutes. With traffic, almost an hour. So
Mhm.
if I'm trying to creep with a woman, why would I get a room that's right around the corner from where she lives with her boyfriend? If I No man would be stupid enough to do that. No man, if you are creeping with a female and she lives with her boyfriend, you're not gonna pick a hotel that's the nearest distance to her house or her apartment. Because I'm quite sure her address is on the incident report as well. They live not too far from Old Dixie. Why would I be dumb enough to get a room for her right around the corner from from where she lives with her boyfriend? If I was creeping with her, and see, that's the narrative that they're pushing. That I was actually creeping with the girl, and I wasn't. I was just being a friend, helping her out by getting her a room, putting a roof over her head, so things could cool off at home. That's what friends do. Everything ain't always got to be sexual. Let's continue. I was gonna creep with a female. If I was trying to get a room to have her for myself, I would have got the room up toward my way.
Well,
That
not
way, I mean,
really.
because it would make no sense. And another thing too, I knew she had a warrant, Lisa. I knew
Mhm.
she had a warrant. So why would I? Another thing, if I was actually trying to creep with her, I would have got a room. Salute to you, Sassy 81. I would have got a room where you had to use a key fob to get in the building. You had to go past it. I would have got one. If I was creeping with her, I would have got one at the Ritz or the Westin or the Hilton or the W Hotel. It wouldn't have been at the Travel Lodge. I put her at the Travel Lodge so she could cool off and so she could be close to home. That's why I put her there. The plan was when at checkout, her dude come and pick her up. That was the plan. But other things went down after I left. So hey, Any, what goes on after I leave, after I pulled out of that hotel parking lot, it was beyond my control. Let's continue. Waste money because it was almost $2,000 to bum her out. I didn't have money to throw away like that. I had a kid on the way, and I had a little. Jamal was a little boy. Every time he woke up from a nap, he needed new shoes, new clothes. I
Yeah.
didn't have money to throw
Yeah.
away like that. Because at that time, during that time, I had to hold everything down. She had a rough pregnancy. We're talking about 2004, and she was not. She wasn't a doctor then. She was where she wasn't a doctor, and that's the thing. That's the thing. Salute to you, Monique Hill. At the time, Lisa was 5 months pregnant. She had a rough pregnancy. When I tell you, uh, there were 3 different occasions where I had to call the paramedics to our apartment because I thought she was having a miscarriage. She had a rough pregnancy, getting dizzy, falling out, throwing up all over the place. I mean, it was rough. Now Jamal's mom, her pregnancy ran smooth, smooth. Jamal's mom had a smooth pregnancy, but Lisa had a rough pregnancy, and I did not, I was not going to leave her alone by herself overnight. 5 months pregnant, and then I didn't have time like that on my hands because I had to hold things down. She was not a doctor at the time. I had to take care of our household, and I had a son. I had a 5-year-old son that I had to take care of. I had a lot of weight on my shoulders back then. So mm-mm. Let's continue. She was in school, so I didn't have no almost $2,000 to throw away like that. So I knew the reason why I put the room in my name because I knew she had a warrant. She you got a warrant. You ain't getting a hotel in your name. So I put it in my name.
Um, is there any reason why you wouldn't get a hotel room in your name if you have a warrant? Well, I mean, it seems, I mean, looking at the incident report, it seems like this was
You know how many
a
people don't went to
couple.
jail? That's a recipe for disaster. If you have a warrant hanging over your head, you do not uh you do not get a room in your name because some kind of way the police department they run the data through the hotels in the area just to see if a fugitive if they can get a hit on a fugitive that has rented a room at a hotel. That's how so many fugitives had gotten caught. Like that guy that did the hit for Ray Caruth. He got caught in a hotel. That guy that abducted that girl in Washington State, that abducted that white girl in Washington State, they caught him at a hotel. A lot of fugitives got caught at a hotel. That's the last thing you want to do if you're a fugitive. Now she just had a little bench warrant, bench warrant. I think violation of probation, or something like that. So it was a little misdemeanor, a little slap on the wrist or whatever. But still, any kind of warrant, you do not want to put no hotel room in your name.
It just seems like this was a couple that maybe needed some police intervention every now and
Yeah.
again.
Well, yeah, they had issues. But you know how many people done got caught, went to jail? If they had a warrant hanging over their head, getting rooms.
Right, but I don't
Yeah.
know how many times it mattered or made a difference enough to go on an incident report who got the room to go on a police.
If an incident happens, if something goes down, or if the authorities are called out to that hotel room, the person that rented the room. See, the reason why it's this the reason why it seems odd because this situation is odd. Here it is. Usually, when something like that happens, the person that's involved, the room is in their name, but because the room was in the name of a third party individual, it may seem odd to you if you're on the outside looking on the in. But if something go down, if this is why a lot of people don't like to rent rooms for other people. If you rent a room for somebody and and they do something, fuck it up, or throw a wild party, or if somebody gets hurt in their hotel, your name is attached. Your name is going to be attached to whatever incident that took place at that room that is tied to your name and that has your license number attached to that name. Let's continue.
Incident report. Who got the room? Maybe what room number they were in. But I would think
Oh,
that
you want to know how my name ended up as the complainant on the incident report? Oh, it's simple. My
100%.
cousin wasn't finna give his real name, so he gave him my name.
Also, so your
Yeah, my
cousin,
cousin, my cousin gave the cops his name,
you know,
and that's not an odd thing. Because how many times have we known people to do that? They get in trouble. They don't have, they give a relative name. A lot of people do that. A couple of times when my license was suspended, I would tell the cop I ain't have my license on me, and I would give them my cousin information. And they run it and let me go because we look a lot alike, especially back then before I started rocking the ball head and I wore uptown fade. We both wore uptown fade, and we were the same size at the time. So that ain't nothing unusual. That ain't nothing unusual. But I wasn't mad at him for giving him my name. I understood why he did it. He's a married dude. He was creeping. I didn't know that he was creeping with Melee. I had a talk with him about that, but he was creeping with Melee, and you know, shit went down. He did what he had to do. Salute to you, Ren Rock. Salute to you.
but that's black people for you,
Yeah.
first of all.
I mean, they get
Uh-huh.
utilities and stuff and for each other now. I mean, but
Okay.
I wasn't bad on because I mean we've done that to each other a lot over the years, especially when we were younger.
So so the room was in your name. Your cousin was the one who called the police, and he gave your name.
Yeah.
Okay.
And from what he told me is because anything about the travel lodge hotels like that, when
Yes.
you walk out, there's no way of getting back in. When a person those hotels, you're not kicking those doors in. But the curtains were opened enough where he could see what was going on. This is what he told me. He was able to see what was going on because he said once he walked out the room, you know, the guy dapped him up, everything was cool. When
Hmm.
he was getting ready to unlock his car, that's when he saw the guy, hit Melee. Salute to you, Gabe. Salute to you, brother. Salute to you. And this was actually the first time that I got a chance to tell my story. I jumped up on the panel. I got up on Skinner's panel. I hit his link on May the 30th. I hit his link on May the 30th with every intentions on actually telling my side of the story, but I was dropped. I was dropped. I got video evidence to prove that I was dropped. I was up there maybe less than a minute. I didn't get a chance to hardly get a sentence out, and I was dropped down from the panel. Those are the $50 challenge. Hey, you know, I ain't mad at that. That's business. That wasn't personal. That was a business. I would never tell anybody to turn down, no $50 cash out. But just putting it out there. That is why the story was never told. I was waiting for the time where I can actually get up on a panel and actually tell my side of the story. And I was also giving him a chance to come out and tell the damn truth. Hey man, look, man, you know damn well I didn't put my hands on the girl. You know what role I played in the incident. But he was playing games, putting partial information up on his community wall, all while pushing the narrative that I was the one that put my hands on the girl, which we all know that's a lie now. Let's continue. But I'm the Pinocchio. I'm the liar. But he blatantly lied on me. He blatantly lied on me. And no one, still to this day, no one's called him out. No one's called him out, but ready to crucify me because of what the incident report has me down as the complainant. I'm ready to crucify me and put me on trial because of the incident report has me down as a complainant, as the one that called the police, which we can all agree, and we all agreed at the end of this interview that my cousin did the right thing. Let's continue. Like he said, he was outside the room when he saw everything. He was not in the room with him. He was outside the room, but he gave the cops my name.
Okay.
And then I see a couple of people in the chat. Oh, you lying? Hey, the fool already emailed. Another content creator also said that he sent whatever TY put up over there. I don't watch him like that, but it's been sent to my Lisa already, and she knows what happened that night. So that's all that matters. She knows what happened that night. I was laying next to her that morning when the call came in, and she knows which cousin was in the room with her. He was, I mean, they were creeping on the side. Me and Melee were real good friends. Like I said, she watched my son. She would babysit for me because when I was given custody of my son, she would help me, babysit when I needed to go run errands and do other things.
Okay. So you all were pretty good friends. There's no reason why you wouldn't. There's no reason why.
Yeah, I knew her mother. I knew her father. As a matter of fact, I knew her brother 2 years before meeting her. Me and her, we used to call each other brothers and sisters. We could. I called them. She was like a sister to me. I was like a brother to her. And it wasn't one-sided. There were some things that, like there were times that I needed her to do things for me, and she was there for me. Like when I needed her to help me out with Jamal, because when I first got Jamal, I was a single parent. Lisa was in Ohio in medical school. It was just me and Jamal down here. So, and I needed help, and she was there. She was around. She would hold me out, Let's continue. Met her at a Jackson Hewitt in Morrow, and I didn't even know that she was the sister of a guy that I was cool with at the time. So she knew my family and I knew her family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm listening to you very carefully, and I'm taking very careful note of everything that you're saying.
And see, this is another reason why that I say I'm done with all of this after the Wolf trial, because really after this I don't have anything else to prove. And no, put it like this. A lot of people just don't give a damn about the truth. They don't care. And when you do present the truth, they'll move the goalposts and try to, divert and or switch the narrative. And that's what happened with this. Let me say it again. I give them props. It was some new. I ain't denying that. This was some new. But the problem is, it's some new that actually made me look good. At the end of the day, if you tell the story right and you tell it correctly, everything that I did is what a friend is supposed to do. Rented the room for her, bonded her out. And I ain't talking about no 10% bond. I paid straight cash at the damn jail. Went directly to the jail and paid straight cash. So it was new, but it really this worked into my favor. It worked into my favor. Now, the only reason that I could think of with him trying to make it look like I committed the battery was the fact that he just knew, and he knew because I really didn't. The case wasn't really under my name; it was under her name, and her name is spelt kind of funny. That was going to be impossible for me to get the paperwork. He knew that, so he was hoping that he would be able to push the battery charge and pin it on me. But what he didn't think that I would be able to make the call and prove otherwise and put the truth out there about the role that I played in the entire incident. Let's continue, y'all.
And while, of course, I mean, things happen, all kind of shit happens in the world, right? This right here though does not sound super plausible with the way that the events were supposed to have gone. Now, again, like I
It doesn't sound plausible to individuals that rock with TY. It doesn't sound plausible to individuals that were hoping that that I would be tied to the battery. It was not plausible to individuals that don't like me. Bottom line. But there's no one can sit here and say that the story is impossible. That you never heard of family members using other family members' names. And once again, even if I was down there and I called the police to get that guy off of her, isn't that the right thing to do? You know, but I wasn't there. I was not there. I was laying in bed with my woman at 5 in the morning or whatever, 5:50 in the morning or whatever. Let's continue.
said, do things happen? Absolutely. All kind of crazy situations. That's black people, we specialize in that type of stuff. It's just that doesn't sound necessarily believable to me, but I will leave it right there.
And like I said, everybody has a right to their opinion. But once again, once again, no one can sit there and say that they've never heard of family members when the incident come up or there's an encounter with the police that the family member given another family member's name. I mean, and I kind of and anybody should understand the situation he was in. He's a married man, married with 3 kids, wife at home, 5 o'clock in the morning. He's in a hotel with another female, which he ain't had no business being in there. I got on his ass about that. But he just couldn't drive off and leave the girl and the dude jumping on her. So he picked up the phone, called Clayton County, and gave them my name because he knew the room was in my name. So he gave them my name. How is that impossible? How is that hard to believe? I mean, come on. How is that hard to believe? Come on now. Let's continue.
I'll leave it right there. Only because this is the first time I'm hearing that it's your cousin on the incident report. Um, it would
Like I explained earlier, that my first time getting a chance to tell my story. First time getting a chance to tell my story. I attempted to try to get up on the panel on May the 30th, and tell her the same thing I told her. I was going to tell it to Skinny and everybody that was listening, but I was not given the opportunity. I was dropped off the panel. But meanwhile, speaking of May the 30th, this man got up on a panel and lied to everybody and told everybody that I was the one that jumped on Melee, that I was the one that jumped on her and punched her and kicked her and put hands and feet on her. He said that out of his own mouth that morning on Skinny's panel. But once again, everybody wants to sweep that under the rug and talk about who made the phone call. They want to make they want to highlight the phone call, but gloss over the fact that this man blatantly lied, which in terms he fake doxed. He got the incident report. The incident report was sent to him, and it shows that damn, you know, Armando is he's a hell of a guy. He's a hell of a guy. He got a room full. He bonded her. He got the entire file. He don't just have the incident report. I don't believe that TY just have the incident report. I believe TY got the entire file attached to that case. There's no way in hell that I'm going to see him believe that he only has the incident report. I guarantee there are other documents pertaining to this case. He has the whole file. Let's continue. But I was dropped. I was dropped from the panel because remember, he led off with me beating on the girl. I never really got, this is actually the first time that I actually got a chance to tell my story. Now, I really didn't want to talk about the travel lodge thing because I knew, and that's another thing, I didn't want to talk about it. Now, if I was going to talk about it, I would rather do it on another platform because I have friends, family members, classmates that are subbed up to this channel. So why the hell would I want to talk about that over here, knowing that people from my hometown and family members are watching? Why would I want to do that? That is another reason why, I chose to have the interview over there at Flips. I was like, hey, let's do it. I thought about, I was like, really, really don't want to be, if I'm going to tell the entire story of the travel lodge, it don't need to be done over here. It need to be done on another platform. So let's continue. That my cousin was up in there, and he's a married man. He's married with 3 kids. And I didn't want to bring him into no YouTube BS because a couple of people trying to do a witch hunt, trying to dig and find knick-knack stuff, trying to do a witch hunt to destroy my home, to try to wreck my home.
Oh, I totally understand, and I know how it goes. That's why I said that I want to make sure that the things that we're talking about can be on the table, because I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to.
Yeah, I didn't mind being on the table, but the thing is, I felt comfortable hitting Skinny's panel and telling the story over there because the likelihood of any family member, hearing it over there is way less than it would be if I'm telling it over here in the Terror Dome. So, but it's not a situation where it could be impossible for a situation could turn out that way, or the outcome could be that way. It's plenty of relatives that when they get in a jam, or when they have an encounter with a law enforcement, they will give a cousin's name or a sibling's name. I mean, we've seen it happen all the damn time, all the time. Let's continue.
I don't want you to reveal anything too personal. I don't want you to
Hmm.
violate anybody's privacy. Nothing like that. It's just that I understand what you're saying about being dropped off the panel. Like I said, it probably would have been more plausible if I had heard this before today. Um, but again, like I said, do I know
I
that
never
things
went
happen?
into details.
Absolutely.
I never went into details, but I did mention in a couple of my lives that I know exactly who was in there, but it wasn't me. And those videos are still up. The videos are still up. When I stated, even when I was making the calls, and after I got off the phone with the people down in Clayton County, I stated, I said, look, I know exactly who was down there, but it wasn't me. But I know exactly who was down there. And guess who else? Lisa knows exactly who was down there. We all know. So let's continue. I just never, dropped it. Salute to you, DJ Tanya Renee. Salute to you. That was my cousin.
Okay.
Because right now, you got to understand, Lisa, got people going to my social media trying to put running backgrounds on me and pulling up family members. This guy has said repeatedly on many lives that he's got a list of my family members.
And I've heard him say that.
Okay, so now
And
you should
yeah, I know.
understand.
Oh,
If
I
you was in
do.
my
I
shoes, you
do.
should understand why I want to stay away from that part. But I'm just, I'm coming on out with it. I'm not going to reveal which, because I got a
Oh
lot of.
no,
I got
don't.
a ton of
Absolutely don't.
cousins all across the country, but I do know that who was in there. It was my cousin that was in there with. And the reason why he didn't want to give up his name, because he didn't want his name tied to no incident report, because he would have had to explain why the hell he was down there
Right.
with a woman. He was going to have to explain that. So he gave him my name, and he figured, okay, well, you at home with yours. And that would have been hard for any man to explain. That is why I'm not mad at him. I'm not angry at him. That would have been hard for any man to explain. So hey, but I wish he would have gave me a heads up that he was, I didn't know that they was creeping. I didn't know. I didn't know that they had anything going on. Let's continue. She'll understand.
See, because I am a jealous person. I think that I wouldn't let you get that room at all. Oh no, you can't get it.
She was upset when she went on the afternoon that I got back home, and I told her, look, I told her what had happened, and I told her, look, I had to get a room for Melee because she needed somewhere to go to cool off. Hell, I couldn't bring her back to our apartment. I couldn't bring her back to Roswell Road. That damn show wasn't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? My woman was a damn show clown. You bringing another woman here? No. So I just got a room. I didn't, I just want to I put a roof over here for one night. That's it. But she, I got a little, I got a little backlash from that. Trust and believe. Trust and believe. Let's continue.
You can't be getting no rooms for no friends. You don't got no friends. Your only friend is me.
Well, I didn't want her to
So
sleep. I didn't want her to sleep outside. Her dude, they they weren't getting along, and so let's just say if I would have told her, look, no, I ain't come down there to get you no room. No, I ain't come down there to get you no room, and she would have had to stay there, or she probably would have went off and walked off somewhere, or would have slept outside, or something would have happened. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? Well, you're female or male, you're a friend of mine, and you in trouble. I'm gonna go the extra mile. I've always been that way, and I get that from my father, God rest his soul. My father, he didn't mind helping people out that were going through things. That's just the type of person I am. And I get a lot of blessings from doing that, for being that way, helping people out. And when they're going through something, if I'm able to help them out, and I'm in a situation where I'm blessed to help a person out and they're in trouble, I won't hesitate. If I'm cool with you, we're friends, and me and her, we were close. I knew her family, she knew my family, so hey, it is what it is. That's just me. That's just how I am. And that's the thing about us Tauruses. We will, if you cool with us, if we cool with you, and we down for you, we gonna be very loyal, and we will give you the shirt off our backs. That's the thing about a Taurus. And I'm a true Taurus to the heart. Let's continue. How to help you out.
Okay. Okay.
Everybody is different though.
No,
Everybody
no.
is different.
I totally understand. I completely understand.
Mhm.
So let's veer away from the travelogue and talk about something that you and I have actually talked about before.
Mhm.
And that would be your trip to Detroit. First of all,
Mhm.
and I would tell T
Now we're gonna touch on this, and then we're gonna dang, I lost the place. Hold on.
people make it seem like you have ducked a lot of smoke, that a lot of
Hold on. It's hard for it's hard for me to believe that JJ London with the man, he had no problem with me. He confirmed that. No problem with me. If later, a couple of hours later, he getting up on these, jumped in my truck and left and went to the Chevron. It wasn't no hesitation. It wasn't. So what you said, I said, I'm just coming for a conversation, but I'm really there to troll and want my name mixed in it. And during that time, she was sick. She was going through something health wise. And I was on the back end trying to convince her, look, why don't you just stop talking about, it's hard for, it's hard for me to believe that JJ London.
on something that obviously the parties involved have gotten past. But I
Mhm.
don't. I also
I got trolled.
right, but
I got trolled. He would have flipped my hat, took my hat off my head, or
you're involved in this, Mr. Black.
who I got into an altercation with in the park.
It's happened with people on YouTube.
Want to stay away from that part, but I'm just, I'm coming on out with it. I'm not going to reveal.
All kind of crazy situations. Like I said, it probably would have been more plausible if I had heard this before today.
I didn't want her to
So
sleep. I didn't want her to sleep outside. Her.
it's happened with people on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
There have been more than two people that have come around your home in the vicinity of your home.
Only one person, and that's ears. Only one person. Only one person, and that's ears. There have been a number of people that have talked about it, but only one person, and that's ears. And that was a speed drive by. It's like when those trucks, the Amazon trucks, flying through the subdivision. That's exactly what that was. Nothing like what I did when I went up to Green Trees, when I got out howling and doing wolf pack signs and stuff. Nothing like that. But I don't get credit for it though. Let's continue.
How do you
The,
feel about that?
the only person that's actually rolled that came on the cloud, when I mean the cloud, the name of my street was Ears. And he rolled by. It was like a 15 second. He didn't get out. He didn't get out, walk around, or nothing like that. He rolled by, kept going. What TY did, he was at the clubhouse and over by the basketball court. And I showed everybody how far the clubhouse is from my house. It's
Hmm.
way on the other side of the subdivision. I have a very big subdivision, very
Right.
huge subdivision. A lot of people that live on my street, they'll ride their golf carts or their bikes, or they would drive to the clubhouse.
Okay. So just so in your neighborhood though, in your neighborhood where you provide a home for your family,
Hmm.
are you're never worried at all that somebody might, make good on any threats?
Not any of these clowns that I'm dealing with. Mm-mm. Because they're trolls. They're trolls. Trolls are harmless. Mm-mm. In real life. Nope. Because that was a troll move. Because when he drove off, his first words was, if you come out by this lake and you mention anything else about such and such and such, I'm finna turn around. So I walked out, went by the lake, went live, and I said all kinds of things about such and such and such, and he never turned around. It was a troll move. It was for content.
Yeah. Um, I
But
agree
that was
with.
the only person that actually technically drove by my house. So I don't know where this notion that a lot of people, several people know. Only one person drove by my house. But
Well,
he drove by, and it was early in the morning. Early in the morning.
okay, well, if not specifically your home, then um, posting up at meeting places, saying, come pull up on me. You get into altercations with people in the parking lot. You don't think this is dangerous? Do you feel like there's any danger involved in this, Mr. Blake?
Who I got into an altercation with in the parking lot?
You got into an altercation in the parking lot with Justin.
Okay, so Justin pulls up and he takes his camera out and starts filming me. That was for content. And he said that out of his own mouth later on that night. I mean, like I said, to this day, never heard of anybody having smoke with someone, actually pulling up on someone with intentions for an altercation, then 3 4 hours later hopping up on a panel with them, piecing it up and inviting them to the Falcons games and inviting them to hang out and stuff like that. Come on. you know Justin came to the QT to troll. 100% totally different than the situation that happened at the Juicy Crab. But once again, the only people that will sit there and fix their mouths to say that it was the same exact situation are the people that rock with TY. And that goes back to what I was saying towards the end. His base, the people that rock with him are gonna rock with him, and the people that rock with me are gonna rock with me. No one is changing anybody's minds in this situation, because when it comes to these YouTube beefs, the people that rock with you, the people that support you, they don't give a damn about the truth. They don't give a the logic goes out the window. Common sense logic goes out the window. It's all about who you like and not about what's right. Bottom line. Let's continue. I'm gonna drop that receipt also during the trial. Do you know that he got on D Truth's channel later on that night? Got on D Truth's panel, and he
Yeah.
was like, he was being chummy with me,
He invited you to a
and
game or
invite
something,
me,
right?
yeah, invite me to a Falcons game. And so, if you got a problem with somebody, I mean, come on now, did KB hit Ty's link later that night, inviting him to a Lions game or to a Pistons game?
No.
Okay, so I mean, this notion that it was all together, that was a troll move. I didn't know who this guy was. I didn't have a problem with this man. Never seen him before in my life. Never made a post, never made a video or anything about this man. Never had any problems with the man. Still don't. Because he told me what it was on. It was a troll move. He was just trolling. He didn't come there for no smoke. He didn't come there for no altercation.
I mean, but you all did get to the point where, he called you a bitch and
When
he said
oh,
open your mouth.
okay, and then I turned around. You got to realize it was crowded out there, and it was two DeKalb County police officers in the vicinity. But when he called me that bitch, when he called me that, but no one. The thing about it is, number one, I wasn't sitting down in a chair. Okay, I wasn't at a crowded restaurant sitting with a female, and a man walked up and stood over me and invaded my space. Okay, because I remember uh Kwame Brown calling TY a bitch too. And he remained seated in that damn high chair, booster seat or wherever the hell that damn shit was he was sitting in, and he kept that bib on and he didn't move an inch. He didn't move an inch and he didn't flinch. Let's just keep it, let's just keep this thing trill now. I was on my feet. I was on foot. And that dude wasn't nowhere near my space. He zoomed in on the camera. Anybody with 20/20 vision could see that. So, like I said, common sense logic goes out the window when it comes to these YouTube beefs and the people that support the participants. Common sense logic goes out the window. Let's continue. I know Flip want to get monetized soon, so I'm
Oh,
trying to refrain from cursing.
I'm sorry.
When he called me that, if you notice, I turned around and I walked towards him, and then he got in his car and left and drove off. But also, if you look at it in the beginning, when I walked around by the truck and I was walking toward, I was on my side of the pumps. You could tell he zoomed in. This man was nowhere near my space. Nowhere near. He was nowhere near my space. He zoomed in. You can tell it was a zoom in. But if he had smoke, and I'm right, and just so you know, I don't know if she's aware of this, but 3, maybe 4 other content creators did a reaction of that QT incident, and they all stated that it seemed like a zoom, and that Justin was there to troll. It was nothing, absolutely nothing, nowhere near. Is no comparison to what happened to the Juice of Crab. Nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. No comparison. Right there. And if he really had a problem with me, and if he was that up on me like everybody claimed he was, he would have flipped my hat, took my hat off my head, or shoved me or something.
Oh no,
It's a
I
spoon.
agree. If obviously if he
Yeah.
had, if it was that type of problem, you were right there in front of him at that
Yeah.
point. He could have, he
He
could have done
didn't.
something if that's what he was going, if that's what he was intending on
Yeah,
doing.
he couldn't have been and had no problem with me if later, a couple of hours later, he getting up on D True panel, inviting me to Falcons games, and telling me to come hang out over
And I
there,
did
come
see
hang
that.
out at the club and stuff. Yeah, hey man, we need to hang out on that part right there. But people want to gloss over that. They want to gloss over that. They do not bring that up. They do not mention the fact that this man jumped up on the panel maybe like 3-4 hours later. He jumped up on the panel, piecing it out. Something that KB never did with TY. KB never jumped on TY panel, piecing it up with him, inviting him to NFL football games and inviting him to hang out. No, because KB didn't come to that. KB didn't come to that Juice Crab to troll. He came to that Juice Crab to check his temperature. I don't think he wanted to hurt TY. I don't think he wanted to hurt TY because KB had too much to damn lose to over that broke ass clown TY. But I do believe KB came up there to embarrass him and to check his temperature live on the air because he knew Sister T was live. That's how he was able to get their location. He knew exactly where they were gonna be. Let's continue. Though, I mean, come on, you ain't got a problem. You inviting somebody out to hang out and go to Falcons game.
I did see that.
Yeah.
He apologized.
So that right there should tell you, Lisa. That should tell you it was the man was there to troll. He wasn't there to fight. He wasn't there to throw hands with me. That man has no problem with me, and I have no problem with him, even to this day. I ain't got no problem with this man. I ain't got no problem with this man. Now, several other people that had problems with him, they were doxing him, and I think somebody had called his job or whatever, but I didn't have nothing to do with that. Now, one time did I do a big reveal on him over here. I knew, and I got a file on him. I got a file on Justin, but not one time did I do a big reveal on him and put out any of his information. Nope, not one time. I didn't do no big reveals on that man. Let's continue, because I knew he was there to troll. There was a troll. He trolled me. Yeah, and then he also said, "Look, I ain't got no problem with you. I was just trolling." That's what he said. I'm gonna do a throwback on that. I'm gonna do a throwback on that.
I hope you do a throwback on it because and I don't have the video in front of me to say, but that's another one of those things that's not how I remember it. That's
Oh,
so
the thing about it is only two people were there with the QT. That was me and Justin. Okay. I know what happened. He know what happened. He know he zoomed in. He was nowhere near in my space. Okay. Now, like I said, to the people that rock with me, they believe me. The people that rock with TY, they're gonna believe different. There's nothing nobody can do about that. People are gonna believe what they want to believe. But the bottom line is the man was not there for no smoke. He confirmed that when he came and jumped on D Truth's panel a couple of hours later. And basically said that he was just there to troll. He was not there to fight. He was not there for no smoke. So therefore, that right there, that QT incident, I chopped that up as I got trolled. I got trolled. That was not a pull-up. That was a troll up. That was a troll up. That's what that was. Well, it's a perception. Now the people that rock with TY want to make it into a pull-up, but they don't want to talk about that juicy crab. They don't like to talk about that juicy crab. Hey, you talk about that juicy crab, they'll leave the chat. They'll scatter when you mention that juicy crab. They don't want to talk about that juicy crab. But they love to talk about what happened at that QT. Even though that juicy crab was damn hilarious. You know it's bad when people were making merch off of it. I just want to eat t-shirts. I just want to eat bibs. People were making merch out of it. And everybody in the sector was talking about it and laughing at him. That didn't happen with the QT. I didn't get that backlash after the QT incident. Nowhere near it. So that should tell you something. Let's continue. It's your perception, but what I'm telling you is the man got on the panel later on, and all the pull-ups that you've seen happen. Have you ever seen the person that so-called pulled up on the person get up on the panel a couple of hours later, being chummy with him and cool with him, and I even made a comment. I said, "Man, dog, man, hey, the way we acting up here, man, people gonna think this was a play," and that was a part of it.
No.
And you know who is two people that actually thought it was a play? Johnny Blaze did a reaction on it. And when Johnny Blaze, when he got done playing the QT part and he started playing some of what Justin was saying when he hit D True panel, Johnny Blaze stopped the video and he said, wait a minute, flag on the play. He said, this is a play. This is nothing but a play. Though that man ain't got no problem with Armando. And then he went on to something else. Asatar, the following morning, after D Troops live that night, the following morning, Asatar went live. That was back then when Asatar was going live at 5 in the morning. Even he said that, everything was cool until Justin got up on the panel and being all friendly with me and everything. He didn't like that. Justin was in the chat and he was like questioning Justin, like, what's up with that? What was up with that is that man ain't had no problem with me. He did not have a problem with me. That man ain't had no beef with me. He was there to troll. He was just there to troll. That's it. Now, when he called me the bitch, when he called me a bitch, he know goddamn well. I turned around, I was walking towards him. He got in that car and got the fuck on. He knows that. He knows that. Let's continue.
No, I
Even
don't.
Johnny Blaze did a live and did a reaction on it, and he was like, he stopped the video and he said flag on the play. Johnny Blaze did a reaction on it. And
Yeah,
Astro
it
went
didn't
live
seem
the
like
next morning like, is
anything
this a play?
violent.
Huh?
I said no, it didn't seem like anything necessarily violent was going to
No.
happen. It just was an incident though where another.
It was a troll incident, Miss Lisa. It was a troll incident. And you just said out of your own mouth, it didn't seem like anything, it didn't appear that anything violent was going to happen. So that makes it a troll. It was a troll incident. Basically, he was like the paparazzi, what the paparazzi does to celebrities. Now, sometimes that gets ugly. You had Kanye. Kanye whooped a damn paparazzi's ass at the airport a couple of years ago. But that's exactly what Justin did. He was acting like he was a member of the paparazzi, pulling up, taking pictures, and filming and talking shit. That's it. That's what the paparazzi does. Let's continue. I got trolled.
Right, but
I got trolled.
but think about it though, like that. That's kind of the point, is that you didn't know who he was.
No, I didn't know who he was. And he, I didn't know who he was. So which means that he didn't have no problem. And that right there actually validates my point. I didn't know who he was. And he didn't know who I was. So if we didn't know who each other was, guess what? Nobody had a problem with either person. But we all know one thing. When KB walked up in that juicy crab and TY laid eyes on him and he had that look like a deer in headlights, he knew who the hell KB was. When KB walked through them juicy crab doors, he knew exactly who the hell he was. That wasn't no surprise. Let's continue. With me, I didn't have no problem with him. Now, if I'd have knew who he was, it would have been went differently. But I had no problem with the man. He had no problem with me. He confirmed that. He jumped on the panel himself to let me know, hey man, I ain't got no problem with you. I was just trolling.
He did. And not to throw that out, or throw any salt on that, but there were also talks at that time, people were threatening his employment.
Oh, I didn't have nothing to do with it. And I called that out. That it ain't that serious. It's YouTube. It's all entertainment and fun and games. Is should never get to the point where people's calling people's jobs or calling people's relatives and calling people's schools and calling people's daycares and stuff, calling people's churches and stuff like that. It should never get to that point. It should never get to that point. Everything should just be kept on YouTube. So that didn't have anything to do with me. I called that out. Let's continue with that. And I also spoke out against that. I said, look, I ain't with trying to take nobody's livelihood or take money out of another black man's pocket. I've been consistent with that. Even when me and Skinny had fell out and, in Toothless, I was speaking out for her. What made me step back from her is when I absolutely. When hey, Nip, as soon as Sister T said, "Hey, Kwame," Ty eyes got like a deer in headlights. A deer in headlights. He was so shook that he didn't even take the damn bib off. He didn't take the bib off, man. Like I said, that's the most embarrassing damn pull up that I've seen on YouTube. I don't give a damn what nobody say. You want to put pull ups in categories. That Juicy Crab is the most embarrassing pull up. And what Manny did, the Fitty, that was the most that right there was the most gangster, most violent pull up. So you pull up on somebody and you take their life live on the air while the camera's rolling. That's that was a gangster pull up. That was the most gangster pull up in YouTube history. Let's continue. And I realized that she was running, it was about money, that she was trying to scam this man out of money. And then I went live on a Sunday night, a Sunday night soul night. I was having Sunday night throwback nights, soul night, and I went live and I called her and Asator out. And that was the beginning of the little back and forth that I had with Toothless. That was the beginning of the fallout because I had called out and said, look, hey, I'm not with, trying to take money or scam another man out of, take money out of another black man's pocket.
And I understand that. That whole lawsuit business was real crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but what I try not to do, if I can help it, is rewrite history.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems to me like at that time, and again, people have the right to apologize, accept apologies. I think that that's what grown people do.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to dwell on something that obviously the parties involved have gotten past. But
Mm-hmm.
I also don't want to act like it never happened when all of that was going on, when there was this anti-cyber bullying
Mm-hmm.
campaign.
But you know what people act like never happened? People act like that Skinner wasn't taken to court 6 times by the egg lady. It seems like everybody's crickets on that. Nobody remembers 2022. April, May 2022. When that woman spent 2.5 months on a mission to try to put that man in prison. No one remembers that. No one remembers 2022. April, May 2022. No one remembers that. Yeah. Like I said, common sense logic goes out of the window. It's all about who you like and not about what's right. Let's continue. Mm-hmm.
Did you really believe there was an anti-cyberbullying campaign going on at that time?
I did, and before we go into this, I'm gonna tell her that I actually started it. The anti cyberbullying campaign actually started with me. Because in 2022, at one point in time, it was like 30 different content creators gunning for me. Making videos about me, putting my information out there. Salute to you, Mike Jones. I felt like I was being cyberbullied. And I actually launched that campaign on the morning show when me and Ro were hosting the morning show. That's where that began. It didn't have a damn thing to do with no Toothless, because Toothless was actually bullying people. She started out as the bully. Hell, let's continue. No, because remember, I actually started it. She came in the middle of it, but I actually started it.
Okay. Also,
But when I figured out that it was about getting a bag with her, I stepped away from that. I stepped back away from that.
because some people might say that the step back was more of a result of a mad day. You and Asatar falling out. It was
Nope, nope. Because as a matter of fact, when me and Toothless fell out, and she actually quit coming onto my channel, and I took her rent, she took mine, and I canceled my membership on her channel. She canceled her membership on my channel. Me and Asator was cool maybe like 2 or 3 weeks after that. So timeline mixed up. Timeline mixed up. Me and Toothless fell out. We fell out like the Saturday before the Super Bowl of 2023. So let's continue.
throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
Oh, no, 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 no. No, it wasn't, because it started with me and her. Go back to, and I did a throwback Saturday, and Skinny had hit the panel, and I told him the whole story. And so I'll tell you. So I don't think you've seen that part of the video. The fallout began with me and her. It was the night before the Super Bowl in 2023, 2 years ago. Okay. I had went to get me some food, and she had called me because I did a live that Friday, and I had made a statement. I had said, well, you know, it's hard for it's hard for me to believe that JJ London dropped Visine was dropping Visine in men drinks, and there's no report about it. She never her dancing license were never taken or
Dancing
suspended.
license.
Yeah, you got to have dancing license in Atlanta in order to dance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got to have dancing license, and that's all I was saying. I was trying to explain to her, look, you would think, if she done did this to like 20 and 30 guys, you would think at least one person would have came forward and filed a complaint. And that's why I never bought that story about her dropping Visine in anybody's drinks, because that's a serious accusation. If she was actually doing that to customers, someone would have reported her and would have had her dancing license uh, revoked or suspended or something. And the record shows that her dancing license were never suspended. Never in. She has no reports of her, you know, dropping Visine, and no complaints or anything. So that story, that is why I didn't co-sign to that story there. Let's continue.
Mm-hmm.
And had her dancing license revoked or suspended. But and that's all I was telling her. And she was like, well, you moving funny, and then you shouting. She was also had a problem with me defending Sky Atticus and defending Queen Regina and defending Doe. She had a problem with me. She only wanted it to be about her.
Okay.
And then there were times that we were having conversations, and then she was just, it was just she was just bringing up money, 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 money all the time, money, money, money all the time. And
Um,
that
did,
day, it was me and her on the phone. Astor wasn't on the phone, so I stepped back. I stepped back. And another thing, the reason why I think she kind of fell out with me, because I think she felt like that I was basically trying to run her business or tell her what to do. Because I was actually, I didn't mean any harm. Only thing I was doing was giving her advice, because she was complaining about the migraines and complaining about the dizziness and the shortness of breath and uh, chest problems, and she had issues with sleeping at night. And I told her, I said, you might want to just think about just stepping back. Maybe if you just quit talking about skinny and just do other content, go on and move on and do other content, he'll eventually stop talking about you, and then the whole shit would die down. But Asatora was in her ear, at the same time that I was trying to get her to stand down and just move on. Asatora was in her ear gaslighting her and telling her, no, you can't let him get away with it. You can't let him get away. You gotta keep going. You gotta keep going. You gotta keep on. You gotta stay on skinny. You gotta stay on skinny. And that's where the clash had began there. That's where the clash had began. And, Asator was telling her what she wanted to hear, because she wanted to keep going. I'm giving her some friendly, was giving her some friendly advice, common sense advice. Look, your health is not right. Obviously, your health is not good, and you don't need to be on here stressing yourself out and engaging and beefing with people on YouTube. So, a lot of times people will fall out with you if they feel like you trying to tell them what to do. So, I think that played a part in that also. Let's continue. Fair use from it because of the things she had said, and me and her had words. And that day, the day before that Super Bowl, the day before Super Bowl Sunday, I was done.
because have you ever have you did you ever get a chance to read what the initial complaint that she was making was? And the reason why I asked this is because um, you were put forth by her as a witness who was also a victim of bullying by your real name in this legal document when she filed this law.
And I did not. I didn't. That's another thing too. I was pissed about that, because she did not. For one thing, she did not. She did not get any consent from me to add my name to anything. Just like the times after, she put my name on the chart, put my name in other documents. But that first one, I was upset about that. I did not want to. I didn't want my name mentioned in no damn lawsuit. I don't want to have anything to do with that. So let's continue.
Lawsuit, and the complaint stood as that um, for a long time during this
Hmm.
proposed anti cyberbullying campaign.
And
Well
that
before it was well before you and Toothless Tiger fell out.
okay, and that's another problem I had too. I didn't want my name mixed in it. And during that time, she was sick. She was going through something health wise. And I was on the back end trying to convince her, look, why don't you just stop talking about the man? Go back to doing other content. Talk about, the earth or Asiatics, or talk about, world news or something like that. Or go back to doing interviews with different content creators. Just because and I told her, I said, I'm quite sure if you be the bigger person and you quit talking about him, he'll quit talking about you, because I highly doubt he want to go back and forth with you. That's what I was telling her. So I guess she took it the wrong way and felt like I was trying to tell her what to do, or I was trying to, run her business.
Right.
Yeah. And I mentioned that in several lives, when I was, going to Aston, I was like, look, man, tell people the truth. I told you, and I was telling him on. I said, man, and here's the funny thing about the Toothless situation. When I stepped back from Toothless, and this is I'm gonna end this on night one right here. This is gonna be night one of the reaction. I'm gonna do the reaction tomorrow. I'm gonna finish up with the reaction to this interview tomorrow. Or well, later on this afternoon. It's officially Wednesday morning. And happy Wednesday to everybody. And good morning to everybody. But I will be doing a reaction later on this afternoon to this. But to make a long story short, when I stepped back from Toothless, who started coming over in her chat? Who did she start clicking up with? It was TY. It was TY. As a matter of fact, as a matter of fact, hold on. I think this is it. I think this is it. Fair use.
Man, I don't even salute. Yeah. If anybody want to put something on my quesadillas, it's greatly appreciated.
Now that's where he was begging for money for food. Hold on, y'all. That's where you'll never find a video like that on me. Begging for food. This dude begging for food, y'all. Broke clown. All right. Fair use. Fair use.
You know what I'm saying? So, it's kind of waiting to see. But also, let's say she did win and all that. She's not gonna get a penny from this dude, right? We know this.
Right. Right.
So
Absolutely.
all this people jumping all 11 million. She know what time it is. It's a process. It's a step to doing something else.
She's talking about the law. He's talking about the lawsuit that Toothless had on Skinny. Pay close attention now. Because this was after I had stepped back from her when I realized that it was a money grab. Now he knows it's a money grab, but just pay attention now. But see, people want to act like this never happened. Fair use, fair use.
And people just
Right.
taking it and running with it for some other shit. That's why I just sit back like it's right. Whatever. He act like he don't know this. Like his followers and nobody told him, like, bro, how the fucking feel you wake up in a hole 11 million? I'm gonna tell y'all.
She wasn't gonna get no 11 million. This was premature celebrating that y'all did. And I said that. I said that the following day. It was premature celebration. Fair use, fair use.
If I woke up, like everybody has been garnished once or twice in their life.
Well, you've been garnished 13 going on 14. So far you got 13. You got one, you got another one coming from Green Trees. Let's continue.
Not everybody, but some people. I've been garnished before. You know what I'm saying? I've been garnished before.
13 times, bro.
So it happens.
But 13 damn times, clown. Fair use.
Can you imagine? You had Labor Day weekend and shit, and all of a sudden you hear judgment. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she got her shit, so he got his. And he woke up and he opened that piece of paper and he see all those fucking commas and all those fucking zeros, and you in garnishment for that.
You mean like you? Like you in garnishment with the Michigan Treasury? Like you're in garnishment with the IRS? And like Green Trees is coming? Cats and Green Trees are coming for their money. Just because you moved out don't mean that it's gonna go away. They want their money. Fair use, fair use.
Like, your life is over. Listen, I don't know what buildings is in South Carolina, but find the tallest building, hop on the elevator, get to to that floor, take the stairwell, and go climb them stairs, go outside on the roof, look down, and go ahead and just take that leap.
Wow. He's saying this about Skinny, y'all. Celebrating because he thought Skinny was going to have to pay out 11 million. Yep. Let's continue. Here's more.
Faith. We talking about Mr. Sheepy. Mr. Sheep, like 11 million. Like the average person won't see that in a lifetime.
Nigga, you wouldn't see it in 3 lifetimes with your broke ass. Fair use, fair use.
11 lifetimes. So, bro, you can go ahead and whack yourself 11 times and you still not going to be able to pay that shit back. Shit! You know what I'm saying? So,
it's always the brokest clowns talking about what another man can't do. It's always the brokest ninjas that's always coming on here talking about what the next man can or cannot do. Fair use, fair use.
you know, it's kind of waiting to see. But also, let's say she did win and all that. She's not going to get a penny from this dude, right? We know this.
Right.
Salute to you, Big Greg. Salute to you, brother. Just listening to this clown right here. Fair use, fair use.
Right. Right.
So
Absolutely.
all this people jumping all 11 million, she know what time it is. It's a process. It's a step to doing something else. And people just
Right.
taking it and running with it for some other shit. That's why I just sit back like it's whatever. Somebody told me.
Wow. Wow. But people want to pretend like this never happened. Big Greg. People want to pretend like this never happened. That he clicked up with Toothless. He clicked up with Toothless. And he was projecting the garnishments on Skinny. But people act like this never happened. They act like this never happened. They want to just sweep this under the rug. That's why I said logic goes out the window when it comes to this YouTube thing. Logic goes out the window. Let's continue.
Today, why am I messing with these little YouTubers? So I'm gonna talk about the conscious community. No, nigga. You was talking about me yesterday, and you don't want to talk about shit today because it's TikTok on that channel, my guy. Like, listen, this is the judgment. This is the tip of the iceberg. This is the starting blocks.
Meanwhile, this clown had garnishments hanging over his head the entire year of 2023. He had garnishments, eviction. Salute to you, big boy Dooley. Garnishment, evictions, and one more big surprise bomb that he had hanging over his head in 2023 that I will be dropping at the trial. That's going to be the walk-off grand slam. Boy. That's all he does is try to take people's channel. Yeah. That's it. And clout chase all folks. Fair use, fair use.
Right? Toothless Tiger's in the starting blocks. She waiting for that starting pistol to go off. Now she about to fuck your whole life up, right? So here's the shit that can happen. Like, y'all about to rock with me tonight, all right? Rock with me tonight. Y'all can screen record, send this shit to that nigga. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? So
it's always the brokest clown sitting around praying for the downfall of the next man. I'm telling you, bro, this shit crazy, man. Fair use, fair use.
So, you know, it's kind of waiting to see. But also, let's say she did win and all that. She's not going to get a penny from this dude.
And that's the only thing you was right about, clown. Because I said that, and I mean, hell. I said that she wasn't gonna get a dime from him. There's one more thing I want y'all to listen to. Hold on, y'all. Because, people like to rewrite history for some reason. They love to rewrite history. Fair use. Fair use.
All of them dismissed because it was never true. But it proves I'll put hand and feet on women when it was the only instance with my wife that we got a divorce and I got full custody of my kid and the shit never happened.
Boy, you we're gonna talk about that full custody of your kid. It's something to that story. It's more to that story. I got the file. It's more to that story. Fair use, fair use.
been again with no other woman, and I've been with many women in my life. Okay.
Hey, T.Y.
Nothing in my background, bitch.
Like, where's this coming from? I ain't, you know what I'm saying? Where's this coming from? You want smoke
T.Y.
me
You
for
can hear
what?
you can hear Mondo?
Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. That ain't the one I wanted to get right there. That ain't the one I wanted to get. It's another one. There's another one where that clown got up on the panel and lied. Y'all gonna hear this. That clown got up on the panel and blatantly lied.
Have none of that in this record.
Fair use, fair. Y'all listen.
Okay.
And
Listen to this, y'all. Fair use, fair use. Listen to this now.
you
So
got
listen,
Booker T
all right,
in your
let me
record.
tell you, let me be real with you, okay? Let me be real. He
All
got
right, that's
something.
what's up.
It's the same situation with me, right? And
Okay.
I got that's why I said I don't want to say too much because I don't have the stuff sitting in front of me yet, just docket numbers and shit like that. So I'm waiting on shit. But it's the same situation. And I'm gonna explain it when I get it in my hand. Unlike him, where my shit dismissed and he trying to say I did this and whatever.
Your shit was dismissed. Your shit was never dismissed. Brandy did not show up to court because she was afraid of you. She was intimidated by you. She was afraid to show up to court. Big difference. There's nothing. So tell me this: if this situation is the same, then why is it showing up on your background and none of that is showing up on my background? Because it never happened. And we proved that you was a liar. But this is what he did. This was May the 30th, everybody, when he jumped up on the panel and he tried to push the narrative about the travel lodge being that I beat on a female, that I put hands and feet on a female. Pay close attention. Fair use.
He had a situation where it's dismissed, but it upgraded. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, you going around trying to say I did shit and my shit dismissed when using the same exact scenario, which the people don't.
Nothing in my background with that. Come to find out, hell, I'm the one that bonded the girl out. I bonded her ass out and got the room for her. Let's continue. Fair use.
No. Like he got shit that people don't know nothing about. He try to act like he clean, he ain't do shit. No.
And I've been doxxed more than anybody in the damn sector. Where I next to Kwame Brown. I've been doxxed the most by some of the best doxers. Mr. Fair Use, one. I've been doxxed by some of the best. They put my whole entire file up on the damn screen for the last 3.5 years. And none of them, not one, has said that anything come up about me putting my hands on no female. You know why? Because it never happened. And you know it never happened. You had the incident report in your hand. But when I made that call down to Clayton County to prove that you was a liar, then you want to goddamn move the goalposts and make it about who called the police. Let's continue. Fair use.
That's not it. That's not it at all.
Okay.
And then like again with the paperwork, with the crack shit, where I got the real paperwork and posted it, he trying to say I put the shit up when he went to rehab. The stuff.
I didn't go to no damn rehab, and I'm gonna debunk that as well. I didn't go to no rehab. You know who went to rehab? One of your daughters. File charges, you hoe ass nigga. One of your daughters went to rehab, bro. Yes. One of your daughters went to rehab. I bet you saying to yourself, damn, how he knew about that? Oh, yes, bro. I know about that. One of your daughters went to rehab, went to jail, and was a straight up alcoholic, and went to rehab. Yes, sir. Still trying to find this video, y'all, and I'm gonna get ready to get on up out of here. We're gonna do part 2 tomorrow. Yeah, that was a little new there. A little new there that I want to throw out. First time I ever mentioned that. Ain't that right, TY? First time I ever mentioned that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Fair use, fair use.
Very soon.
So are you
She don't
trying
want
to say that this lady? Are you trying to say that this lady?
This is when they were discussing the travel lodge, y'all. The incident at the travel lodge. Listen to this now. Pay close attention to this. Pay close attention. That's why I kind of wanted the interview. I kind of wanted the interview to be and over here to Terradome so I could show receipts, but it's all good though. Y'all listen, pay close attention to this. Fair use. Fair use.
very soon.
So are you
She don't
trying
want
to say that this lady? Are you trying to say that this lady could possibly be the lady that Armando put hands and feet on?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Y'all heard that.
Damn, man.
Y'all heard it.
Mm-hmm. But I don't, I don't want to say too much because don't think about it too much, too much. But I'll be chilling. I'll be chilling, mind my own business. But
Fake doxing ass, fake
very
doxing
soon.
ass clown. There it is right there. There it is right there. Fake doxing ass clown. That is it right there, bro. That is it right there. You push the narrative that I put my hands on Melee first. Now you want to make it about the phone calls. But you was serious, bro. That wasn't no quicksand, no baiting all, bro. You was trying to run with that narrative. You were trying to run with that. You was trying your best to run with that narrative, bro. But you got caught in your lie. And we still waiting on the Alabama. You said I beat up a woman in Alabama too. Oh yeah. You said I beat up a woman in Alabama. Hold on. Hold on. Let me get to that part right there. When he said I beat up a woman in Alabama. Fair use. Fair use.
So, no, was it the drugs? No, I was just about to say, man, we got a lot. No, we was talking about DV and shit like that.
DV. Pushing the DV narrative on me. Pay close attention now, y'all. Fair use. Fair use.
We was talking about that. So Alabama, yeah, we got new coming. We got
Oh
new. So
yeah, yeah.
this dude crashing out.
Oh.
Yeah, this dude
But
crashing out as we speak.
what about he issued an olive branch just
Mm-hmm.
now? He was like,
Oh,
yo,
I don't know about no damn olive branch. Um. So Ty, where's the Alabama paperwork at? Where's the Alabama new at? Where's the Alabama new at? Where is the file, the new where you said that I beat a woman up in Alabama? That's what we waiting on. Where is that file at, sir? Because that live that Skinny did took place on May the 30th. It's June 18th. Friday will make what 3 weeks? 3 or 4 weeks. So where is the new? Where is the Alabama file? Where's the Alabama file? Where is the Alabama file? Oh yeah, and I got one more other question I got for you, bro. One more other question. One more other question I got for you. Mhm. Just give me a quick second. Let this refresh. Hey TY, you want to tell us what happened in 2002? August the 7th, 2002. In Trent, Michigan. You want to tell us what happened? Tell us what happened, TY. Tell us what happened, bro. I know what happened. Yeah, July the 14th, 2002. Somebody got their ass whooped that day. But here's the kicker. That time, the person that got their ass whooped was not Brandy. Because you see, bro, at Brandy's ass went to jail that day. Huh? She went to jail that day, bro. New alert. Yeah, Brandy went to jail that day, bro. Found guilty. Domestic violence. So I'm the rat, TY. But you got your wife locked up, bro. You got Brandy right here. You got Brandy locked up for domestic violence, bro. What kind of man has his baby mama locked up? You talk about me calling the police, bro. You talking about me calling the police, bro. Oh, no, bro. You talking about me calling the police, TY. Huh? You call the police on your own baby mama, bro. Yeah. Case number 2002-02T220109-SM. Yes, sir, bro. You call the cops on Brooklyn's mother on July the 14th, 2002. Yeah, it is right there. Domestic violence. Y'all say hashtag got him. Hashtag got him. Hey, bro, you got some explaining to do, man. How did Brandy end up in jail for domestic violence, bro? In 2002, because we all know in 2002, y'all were married, living together. And damn sure wasn't Brooklyn, because Brooklyn was practically a baby. She was little back then. Yeah, she was little. Brooklyn younger than Jamal. So hell, in 2002, shit, Jamal was what? Damn, Jamal was like what, like 3? So Brooklyn may have been like 1 or 2 years old. Yeah. You calling the cops? You call the popos on your baby, on your own baby mama, bro? Sick 'em. That's why I said, man, relax, man. I'm trying to tell you, man, hey, the clip is full. I keep telling y'all, man, the clip is full. The clip is full. Clown, quit calling other people rats. Cause you are the biggest rat, bro. You out here calling the popos on females. You out here calling the police on females, bro. You the second content creator that I know that has called a popo on a female. You leprechaun. Hey, sick up. And that's why I told you, bro. Hey, man, that's why I be cool and calm, man. I be cool and calm. You see, the difference between me and you, TY, you go see you I know you out of bullets, bro. You got them going on Facebook. This dude don't went on Facebook the last 2 or 3 days fishing on a witch hunt. You over on Facebook on a witch hunt, going through accounts and stuff like that. Bro, I'm pulling out shit, man, that ain't nobody seen, ain't nobody heard of, bro. I never mentioned Brandy getting locked up for domestic violence. But yes, bro. In 2002, while y'all were married and living together, the police was called on her and she was locked up for domestic violence, bro. I got the whole file. Who bonded her out, how much the bond was, and everything. Yeah, yeah. Hey, Elisa B, if you ghost watching, you were right. When you said, maybe it was a two-way street, or she should have fought back, or she did fight. She did fall. That day, she fought back. That day, she fought back. July 14th, 2002. That's the day that Brandy finally grew a pair and fought back. Sentencing day, her sentencing day, 11/26/2002. Yeah. Brandy whooped his ass, bro. Cause she got done, bro. They were trying to lock her ass up for a minute here. Yeah. Domestic violence. Domestic violence. Yes, sir. Hey, Big Grid, let me tell you something, bro. Look, man, I done been slapped by females in the past. Well, my woman Lisa ain't there. She ain't never put up, she ain't never got physical with me. But Jamal's mom, man, that girl done slapped me, done threw shit at me or whatever, man. But look, man, I never picked up the phone, called the police. Jamal's mama was crazy. But she was a Taurus female. Both of us were Tauruses. That's why we didn't get along. But I never called the police on her. I done had female do all kinds of shit, man. I never called the police on her, bro. But your baby mama, bro. Your baby mama. Your baby mama, bro. God darn, bro. How low can you go, leprechaun? How low can you go? Let me get ready to get on up out here, man. I got plenty more new. I'm stocked up with new, bro. That ain't all he did to y'all. Yeah, that ain't that ain't the last. That wasn't the only, and it damn sure wasn't the last time that he called the police on that girl. He called the police on that girl several other times, but it was one in particular. It's a one in particular where man, y'all just get your popcorn ready. Just get your popcorn ready, man. Anytime I put in the title new drop alert, you better believe some new finna be dropped. All right, everybody. Hey, it's 1:12. a.m. in the morning here in on the Eastern time zone. So I'm gonna get ready to take my black ass to bed. Everybody, hey, thank you all for coming out. You know, we had a nice little modest crowd for it to be a late night live, but I will go live a little earlier tomorrow well later on this afternoon and finish up my reaction on the interview with Miss Lisa B. Shout out to Lisa B. Great job on the interview. And shout out to Flip Phone. Salute to you, brother. Thank you once again for providing me and Lisa with your, well, you know, providing us with your platform to have this interview. It was a great interview. I enjoyed myself. I really did. So everybody, thank you all for coming out. Hey, it is what it is, y'all. It is what it is, y'all. Hey, look, man. I've been telling y'all, man, this dude. Hey, y'all, I've been telling y'all this dude been calling me a rat, but he is the rat. He is the one that will pick up the phone and call the police in a heartbeat. The dude called the police on his own baby mama and had her ass locked up, bro. So hey, there you go, right there. But then, like I said, that wasn't the only time. Just like the great Paul Harvey said, the late great Paul Harvey said, this is not the end of the story. There's more to come, y'all. Hell yeah, they had, boy. When I tell you that relationship was toxic, it was toxic. But it wasn't one-sided. It wasn't one-sided. It was not. That day, that fateful day, July 14, 2002, Brandon fought back that day. All right, everybody. I'm gonna get ready to get on up out of here. Peace and blessings, y'all. Hit that like button on your way out. For those of you that are watching the playback, gonna watch the playback, make sure you hit that like button. And everybody, like I always say, be safe out there. This time of year, drink plenty of water. Drink plenty of water. Keep yourself replenished. Drink plenty of water. And most important of all, take care of yourselves and each other. I'm Armando Black. Peace and blessings. Love you all. Thank you all. And another thing, to stay prayed up. So everyone, have a good night. See you all right back here in the Terror Dome later on this afternoon. Thank you all. Good night.